Hi Shimmy Shaker, we are really going to take our time today to learn vertical figure eights. I'm going to teach you two types of vertical figure eights, our Maya and our upward figure eight, both really beautiful moves. So let's go. As always, you know what I'm going to say first. We start with good posture. Really important for this move, especially to get that hip movement. Feet hip width apart, pelvis tucked in, chest up. You can have your hands here or here, whichever feels better for you. Today we're first going to learn our vertical figure eights. We've got 4 points to come into our vertical up figure eights. I know around the world different people call these different things. This is the direction we're going with one hip and then the other. So if you join those dots together, yes, you see a 8 shape. So we're pushing our hip out to the side. We're lifting up. As we lift up, I'm really squeezing through my core. I'm lifting my heel up off the floor. I'm coming back in and then down. So let's go that side again. Out to the side, up, in, and down. That's it, other side. Out, up, good. In, and down. Watch from the side so you can see my feet. I'll do this hip first. Out to the side, up, squeezing here, in, my foot still up, and down, out, squeezing up, my heel's up, I'm still out to the side, in, my heel stays up, and down, out, up, in, and down, out, up, in, and down. Once you've got all 4 spots on either side, you can then start to smooth it out. So it's like we're joining the dots of our figure 8. Let's try it. Out, up, in, down, out, up, in, down. Trying to slur my voice so we can all slur our moves. That's it, beautiful. Yes. Getting that flow. Lovely. Good. Really focus on trying to get all those spots and shake it out. Nice work. Okay, so let's check in and see that you're not making any of the common mistakes that we see with our figure eights coming upwards. First one, just again, check your posture as always. If your feet are too wide, it's very hard to do this move to come up. If your feet are too narrow, it's very hard to come out to the side. So yeah, start with feet hip width apart. Make sure you're getting each of those spots. Remember, it's out, up, in, down, out, up, in, down. Very common for people to miss one spot. So for example, you might be coming straight up to the corner and down without coming to the side first. This is the most common one that I see. So people often come here and here instead of here and here. I know it's only a very small difference, but with our basics, it's really good to get them nice and strong and fluid from the outset so we can build good habits from the start. So just check, are you sliding all the way out to the side first? If not, take a little bit of extra time at this stage so you make sure you're sliding all the way out. The next one I often see is people missing the coming in before coming down. So they might come out and up okay, but then they just come straight down and out to the other side. So this one kind of looks a bit like this. You can see it's more like a little swing around rather than a full figure 8. That's it, so check, make sure you're not doing that. And again, if you are doing that, just come back to those 4 spots broken down so you can get each one. The 2 that are up, it's quite hard work on the core, so really focus on your core, build up that strength over time. Beautiful. And then once you've got all 4, make sure you keep doing all 4 as you smooth it out. Lovely. Okay, the second most common thing I see is, again, people's posture, leaning back. I know I'm always going on about this one, but it is really important because if you're leaning back when you do your moves, it's very uncomfortable for you, but also it's very bad for your lower back. So please don't do that. Yeah. Instead, you can, if it helps, you can squeeze through here and here just to tilt that pelvis a little bit. You can check in a mirror, make sure you're not coming this way to overcompensate. Standing up nice and tall as you flow into the move. Good. Beautiful. Okay, the next most common problem I see is people not being able to lift the hip up without leaning their body over. If you find you're doing this and your figure 8 looks more like this, it means you're not squeezing your core enough, not using your abs. Similar moves like in our hip drops where we really squeeze our hip up and release. You can practice those ones if it helps. So you look at the time my shimmy scarf. I'm bringing my rib towards my hip or my hip towards my rib. Same thing when I'm doing my figure 8. I'm coming up, bringing my hip towards my rib, keeping my hip towards my rib, and then down. So from here, out, hip towards the rib as I come up, hip towards the rib as I come up and in, and then down. So I think it's like a little side core crunch. You're trying to shorten the distance between your hip and your ribs as you bring it in. This one does take time to build, so even if it's just a little lift at the start, know that it will become easier the more you practice. Yes, that's it. Might also be that you're very tight through the muscles on the other side. So if you need to, you can just do a little lean to the side, feeling a little stretch, especially if you find you can get the hip up on one side and then not the other. And then other side. Good. And then see if you can keep that posture nice and tall, really using your hips and your core. Lovely. Beautiful. So you can see my feet are coming into the move, but I'm still using through here. Again, you can look at the shimmy scarf. Nice and controlled. Lovely. Okay, next most common problem with this one is people getting confused between their horizontal figure 8s and their vertical figure 8s. Sometimes in belly dancing, some moves can look very similar, but they're actually different. And so people who are watching us, they'll be able to tell if they've got a trained eye. And of course, we want to be able to dance as beautifully as we can. So remember, with our horizontal figure 8s, we're moving in this plane. With our vertical figure 8s, we're moving in this plane. So we're coming out to the sides, we're coming up and down, but we're not coming forward or back. So if you think about, imagine you're dancing between two very narrow walls and you're not allowed to touch the wall in front of you and you're not allowed to touch the wall behind so that your hips can't move forward or back because then you'll touch the forbidden wall. Instead, you just have to move out to the side and up, out to the side and up. There are variations of our figure 8s where we do both at once, but as I said, please learn the basics properly from the start. Okay, let's try our downward figure 8 now, or our Maya. Some of the tips are going to be very similar for this one, and again, you want to have a distinct difference between this one that we just did, our upward figure 8, and the next one we're about to do, our downward figure 8. So we start with good posture again. This time we'll bring the hip up first. So remember, I'm squeezing my hip towards my rib. My heel is up. I'm pushing my hip out to the side while I'm still up. I'm coming down while I'm still out. Back in. That's it. Up. Out to the side while I'm still up. Down and in. Let's go from the start to the side. Up. Out. Down and in. You can watch my feet if it helps you. Good. Just getting used to all 4 of those spots first. So you can see it's the same spots or same dot points that we did in the last one. but we're now moving in the other direction. Good. And then when you're ready, smooth it out. Already you might be feeling that this one might be easier for you, or it might be more difficult. It's interesting how our body naturally prefers one direction of movement compared to another. Good. Good. Okay, so let's go back to those dots now. We've smoothed it out. Are you hitting each point? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just check. And then also notice how smooth you can go. So again, we're trying to build that flow so our audience doesn't know where one point starts, where one point stops. I'm a little bit cracky today. I know I'm going to feel better after loosening up in this way though. You will too. Good. And again, feel where it's working. You might feel it in your core, you might feel it in your calves as you lift your foot. You might feel it in your hips. Remember, you can always have a stretch out. Do the stretches we did at the start if you need. Lovely. Good. Good. Okay, were you moving in your vertical plane? Let's have a look. If you have a mirror by you, the other way to test, especially if you have a mirror, is to bring your fingers to your hips, and you want to make sure your fingers are facing forward the whole time. I'm not going to twist forward or back with this one. You can see when I twist forward or back, my fingers move to the sides. My fingers are facing you the whole time, pointing towards you the whole time. So you can try it with yourself too. Make sure your fingers are straight ahead the whole time. If you see them twisting at all, it means your hips are twisting. So try and get back to those 4 points. Yes, that's it. Good. Okay, you know what I'm going to say next? How is your posture? Check where your feet are. Check you're not leaning back. You should never feel this one in your lower back. You might feel it more in the middle part of your back because we are working quite hard, but it should be like a getting stronger feeling rather than a pinchy feeling. We never want to feel that pinchy feeling when we're belly dancing. Good. Good. And then check if there's any spots where you're finding it hard to get the move. There might be a little spot where you just jolt over it every time. Just know you can floss it out over time as you relax into it. Beautiful. Nice. And shake it out. Okay, once you've got them, we can isolate even more. So again, really think about lifting up through your chest. See if you can keep your upper body as still as you can as you move into your downward Maya. As you move into your upward figure 8, that's it. And most important, see if you can tell the difference between the two figure 8 directions now. So let's try our Maya, or our downward figure 8. That's this one. You can copy my hips. And then let's change directions and see if you can build both of these into your muscle memory. As always, the best way to get these moves is to practice, but we want to be practicing the right technique. Beautiful. And shake it out. Nice work, shimmy shaker. I hope that helped you with your vertical figure 8s. They're both really, really beautiful moves, very versatile. If you are ready to learn more, please check out this video here. We go through many different variations of our horizontal figure 8s. This will take it to the next level. Otherwise, you can check out this video here, which is a bit more of a relaxed workout to really drill these moves.